Good evening and welcome to tonight's broadcast of Boise State Esports. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer, aka Gem Mountain, and tonight we have non-stop Rocket League for you. Tonight is going to be Rocket League all over the place because we have Boise State going up against not just one, not just two, not just three, but four different universities in Rocket League matches. It's going to be a very exciting night, and to help run down all the matches we've got here, I've got Jolly and Chizu, Lisa Jolly Mahaus, Adam Chizu McGuire with me. And we have got so much to go over tonight in terms of Rocket League. We've got four matches starting with Florida Southern, I believe.
Literally one game away from being a handful at that point in time.
Yes.
So very excited for today's matchup. Florida and Southern College, the Water Moccasins, going to be the first individuals Boise State will take on today. They would rather be referred to as the Mocks, just so you know.
The Mocks.
That
All
makes
right.
it almost sound like some sort of maybe Air Force thing. Like Mach 2.
But no, it looks like we have Disorder, Panzer 6, as well as K-Bit from Florida Southern College today going to be taking on the BSU lineup. And Boise State has had quite a bit going on for them. Jolly, you've been on the desk a little bit more. Kind of give a summarization or summary of kind of what's been going on with Boise State.
We've seen a lot more trouble, I guess, for the Boise State team, though a lot of this has to do with a lot of swaps in the rosters. I know that the first NACE game that we actually broadcasted was last week. And for those who might be freaking out saying CRL can't be broadcasted, front page Reddit, this is NACE. This is the National Association of Collegiate Esports, so we can broadcast this. In fact, we're told to broadcast this, suggested to. And so Boise State not doing incredibly well, but definitely not losing for sure for the Boise State team last week. So we're hoping to see a lot of good plays from them as well this week, and we've got a lot of games for them to prove that.
Right. After Florida Southern College will be taking on Lebanon, Park, and Drury as far as the rest of today is concerned. But there you see it right there. Boise State Broncos taking on the Florida Southern Mocks. And this is going to be a best of 5, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's 7.
Is it best of 7? Okay.
Actually, you know what? No. You're right. I'm almost, because if it is the NACE matchup, I believe, and for NACE it is best of 5 rounds, so 3 to win.
Yeah, and it looks like as far as the Boise State lineup is concerned, we have a couple of different options as to who we can see on that lineup. The fact that you have, Captain Cosmo Buster, who has been showing that he is still a force to be reckoned with, Ace Pocket, LC Coro, that's kind of your main lineup, if you will. But then you still have players like Tachidu, Waiton, Ozcat, Zazla in the background as well. If they want to make some adjustments, if they wish to kind of see what the other players are capable of, they definitely have depth in that lineup if they need to make adjustments in any situation.
And Cosmo Buster was out last week, so I
saw his shiny face. He's there, man.
There.
Yes.
He is up there in his usual seat at the captain's table, I suppose.
Exactly.
So good to see him back. Though Boise State still played really, really well last week. You could tell there was just a little bit of a dissociation, and I kind of feel like it had to do with the fact that, the captain wasn't there and his smile wasn't reining them all in. And so I think we're going to see some pretty fantastic games here from Boise State today. It is the beginning of this NACE tournament, but Boise State is a team that likes to go in hot. They don't want to start off sloppy. They want to be able to come out with not just a title, maybe not just a trophy, but also with some sort of stat to carry along with their name.
Right. Winning is one thing, but really burying the opponent is another. But that's the thing that Boise State needs to take into consideration. This is a marathon day for them. They have 4 sets of games lined up, and if they come in hot and heavy right off the bat, they may need to rely on those lower-end substitutes. Not lower-end, but those who are not as experienced on the stage, some of the newer individuals. And then on top of that, I mean, if this is one of those days where Boise State doesn't really show up, which has been uncharacteristic of them, it could be a very, very long day. However, this has just as much potential to explode and go the other way, where Boise State's racking up 5, 6, 7 goals a game and just running away with it in 4.
Yeah, but we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves too much because the main theme of today, what I'm taking away, is Boise State needs to prove themselves. They have had tough matchups recently in Rocket League where it's just the communication or the execution's been off just a little bit. So not only in just making sure that they improve their gameplay so that they can pull out wins here, but also doing it in such a rapid-fire line against so many different universities. This is going to be the day where Boise State proves that they can be here.
And they'll want to start hot as well and carry that momentum through all of these games. And it is best of 5. A lot of these, normally we do best of 7s. That's the general standard. And so they're used to having a little bit more slack when it comes to kind of figuring out the play style of the opponents at the very beginning of the game or the first round or two. That's kind of the Boise State standard, is really get the feel for it. And they don't lose horribly at all by any means, but you can tell they give a bit of slack almost, and so that is not an option for them in these upcoming games because it's best of 5. And if you give up a round just to try to figure out what your opponent is going to be maneuvering with, then you're giving up a third of the way to that victory or towards the next round or to the seeding of how this tournament ends up lining out.
Every second is going to matter is what you're alluding to, and every goal at that point also is going to matter, in which Boise State is one of those teams that does like to take a second and collect themselves, kind of try to figure out their opponent's maneuvers and counterbalance that, and they may not have an opportunity to do that, although I do believe when Boise State comes out ahead within the first handful of minutes, that has led to some very, very strong finishes with them usually taking the win over their opponent. So it is one of those things that if they can get strong off of those 50-50s in the early game, if Cosmo can help guide the troops into those favorable positions, we've been seeing a lot of really good off the right-hand side, left-hand side setups for Cosmo into ace pocket, and he has just been drilling those home as well as LC Coro. So it's one of those things where if this team can come together in the early part of the games, I have no concerns for the later part of the game. The longer these games go on, as far as like how far behind Boise State is, my concern grows with each and every, not just match, but every game, every series we're going to see today.
And Boise State as well has kind of had an issue almost where it seems like each of these games that they don't really perform 100%, one player has been off. And you know, it might be due to personal reasons. It might be just an off day for them. For some reason, they can't perform 100%. But I know we've seen it was Cosmo Buster actually really early on, and then Ace Pocket I know recently just kind of had an off day. LC Coro has been doing a really good job of maintaining himself and performing very well at every single one of these. But it's not bad to have one of those bad days, one of those off days. It really shows you exactly where you might falter. And if you expect to maybe have a bad day in the future or encounter a bad day in the future, you hopefully have figured out what you can do to kind of circumvent some of the issues that causes by rewatching the replays and the VODs and things like that. And I know that this team does quite a bit of that, and now we are finally going to jump into it. Thank you guys for being patient. Boise State up against Florida Southern College here in the National Association of Collegiate Esports Tournament Game 1. It is a best of 5.
And Florida Southern College, the Mocs, coached by William the Law Bradshaw. Again, their lineup: Disorder, Panzer 6, as well as Cabot. And we are into it hot and heavy so far. It looks like Boise State University in the orange and Florida Southern University going to be in the blue. As it looks like Waiton is going to be on this starting lineup here, carrying it up on the right-hand side, trying to set up a neutral shot, and he's found it, but it is turned away there by Panzer 6, as Ozcat is going to be the one here in this game as well. So Boise State fielding the other roster as opposed to the main one we're typically used to seeing, but these players definitely have it going for them. So Tachidu, Waiton, as well as Ozcat taking the field for the Boise State orange and blue, but it looks like a shot there from Florida Southern is going to be to the right and not going to be finding anything else, as a second touch there from Cabot is going to come off the top. A touch there from Panzer 6 is going to be turned away by Waiton, and Boise State is now on the attack.
Ozcat with a couple risky plays there. We saw him at 0 boost and actually soar himself across the entirety of the field. Ozcat now almost had an opportunity but did not have the boost there to follow that one up. Prancer is going to snag that corner boost, so that's 100 gone from Boise State, but Waiton with a great breakaway there from two members of Florida Southern. Can Ozcat go into position? Tachidu decides to make that one happen. Waiton trying to follow it up, and the ball hits the crossbar very slowly. Prancer being credited with that save. Can Boise State get this one? No. A good setup, but Florida Southern's defense was just a little too strong.
Boise State is being relentless, and that one goes to Waiton to Ozcat. To the shot is not going to go in, as Tachidu is going to bring this back in, but the Boise State net is wide open. They have fully committed, and Cabot is going to score the first one for Florida Southern.
3 minutes and 10 seconds still on the clock, so Boise State has plenty of time to tie this one up. Florida Southern also has plenty of time to really drive the nail in the coffin if they decide to run with this lead. We'll see how the 50-50 goes. Boise State does tend to get a little bit tilted as well if they start to fall behind, so hopefully that is not something that affects them today.
Well, Boise State spent the entirety of those first 2 minutes attacking the side of Florida Southern, and unfortunately just one missed play led to the goal there for Florida Southern. And if Boise State can turn this around, they'll be just fine. But Tachidu is going to start that return there as he blocks Cabot there, who could have found a second one on the day. Ozcat tried to turn that the other way, but it's going towards his own goal. So a little bit of a mistouch there as the rest of Boise State University going to very, very much turtle up here as Tachidu is going to commit and is going to find the ball for his team. But Ozcat going aerial is going to be turned away there as Disorder takes a shot on goal. And Boise State is now just being so careful to try not to overstep as Florida Southern continues their relentless assault, and it's going to be turned away there by Boise State University.
They also need to be careful about the boost maintenance that they have had here, because the Ozcat has just been starving for it. And each time he tries to go grab one of those corner boosts, there's always a fight around it, and FSC tends to be the school that is there first. Ozcat, though, does have a shot on goal. Disorder has a save on that one. The defense for Florida Southern getting there much quicker than Boise State. Wait, not able to drive that one home, and Cribbett almost actually scoring on his own goal there. Less than 2 minutes now on the clock. Tachidu manages to find some boost there for Boise State. Can they actually make a play off of it, though? It looks like Florida Southern just barely missing that clear, but nobody from Boise State able to follow up that corner shot. So Florida Southern is in a slightly more comfortable position than Boise State could have made that.
FSC finds a little bit of grace there, almost knocking in their own goal, but Boise State was not able to do anything really with that kind of momentum shift. So it looks like Boise State will fall back here to the defensive side and try to regroup. And you're dead on about the boost management here, Jolly. Even though Boise State has been able to put up an onslaught of pressure here, they have not been able to really get any great shots on goal, and it's all been from these starved players. Another shot on goal, but thankfully Ozcat is there to turn it away with the final 60 seconds here on the clock. Boise State needs an equalizer off of the crossbar. Waiting with just a little bit too much speed, comes rocketing in and is not able to put that in the back of the net, but the rest of Boise State is here to try a second attempt. Looks like FSC is going to continue with their pressure here. Now it is aerial, no shots on goal. Everybody kind of just avoiding this ball and waiting for it to settle before they make their move as Waiton clears this out to the right-hand side.
There was a lot of that standstill where players don't really know when to start the engage and when to actually begin the boost, when the ball will bounce and where it will be at when they try to make an aerial play. So 20 seconds now left on the clock. Boise State trying to do everything they can to tie this game up and send it into overtime where it is first goal wins. Florida Southern, on the other hand, just attempting to keep this ball away from their goal. They only need to do it for another 10 seconds here. Ozcat with an offensive play there is not able to make a play off of it, though, and Boise State almost getting a score on themselves from that offensive play.
And FSC going to pick up that first round there, and that was almost a second point for them in the final seconds. It would have been the death knell for Boise State, but the one goal they had in the first 2 minutes was more than enough.
Absolutely. Just great communication you can tell from that team. And if Boise State is starting the way that they normally do, and that maybe they're giving a little bit of leeway or giving a little bit of loose rein over to this team, they really need to have figured things out here, because 2 more matches in Florida's favor is all it's going to take for them to win this round of games. And then again, the momentum carrying this into 3 games to follow this here. Luckily, this isn't 4 rounds of League of Legends, best of 3 kind of thing.
Right.
These are the shorter rounds,
right.
So hopefully if they do get that momentum, I can easily see them running with it. But I did mention as the game was going that they can get tilty.
Well, and it was, again, just boost management was the big piece for the Boise State Broncos. They could not find any leg up, despite being so aggressive. They spent so much time on the opponent's side, but were not able to recollect themselves defensively. All it took was 1 or 2 good touches from FSC, and they were able to drill it in, or at least get a great play on the board. Even if they only found 1 point that entire game, it was always Boise State aggresses, FSC finds a hole, exploits the weakness, finds some kind of attack on goal.
And a lot of shots here, that brings up a good point. They were very aggressive, so there were a lot of shots on goal. And it's not as though they were horrible shots. They may not have all been centered or directly where they wanted them to go, but it was the defense from Florida Southern really that made it impossible for Boise State to actually drive that one home. Some more aerial play here as Pranzer tries to drive this one over. Ozcat, however, is going to deny it as Boise State tries to send this ball over to FSC's, and Tachidu with the save on that one. A good move by Boise State.
And again, this is what we've been kind of seeing, but inverse now, as it looks like FSC is just going to put on a bunch of pressure. Shot here is way above the crossbar, but they're okay with that. They're going to peel back and try to pick up some boost here, as it looks like Waiton and Tachi are both going to commit here. Disorder breaking through as Ozcat tries to find some kind of ground to jump off of to get control of this ball, and that's over the net. That actually was a very scary situation as Boise State again puts it in the hands of FSC, and Disorder is going to find the first one here in game number 2 in under 60 seconds.
Yeah, 40 seconds down on the clock. I'm seeing a lot of I guess just confusion on positioning from Boise State. You see the pause, and we actually saw it at the beginning, or in that play where Tachidu, I think is who we were watching there, just kind of circled around, ended up going in a figure 8, could not figure out where to go to be in a defensive position, and ended up letting the ball slide right past him. Luckily, Ozcat was in a place to actually defend the goal there. So maybe just a little bit more communication on the rotations that they're having might help them out with these. And a great shot there from Disorder again. Waiton making that save.
Waiton and saving at that point, as he was the only one from Boise State who was able to turn that away. And a lot of open net space I'm seeing on the side of the Boise State Broncos. And FSC is doing a lot of good with that, but a shot by Ozcat is just left. The second touch is just right. Can Boise State get it in the goal? Unfortunately not, as Disorder going to carry this up with a shot on goal. Waiton once again the savior there, as another punch from Pranzer is going to come close. But Ozcat, he shoots, he can block, he can do it all, and Boise State is just hanging on his coattails right now, trying to find some way to get this ball out of this offensive zone.
Oh, Boise State looks so much cleaner right now, though, with their defense. Yes, it is on their defensive end for the majority of this game, but at least it's not going into the goal more than just that one time. And now Boise State going to try to make something off of this offensive play there. We can see Cabot denying that shot. Ozcat is able to get it back over to the corner, and now somebody is trying to line this one up for Waiton to make that shot. Nobody has the connection there, so Waiton is going to be in position to line this one up, but it's now out of boost. A dead ball that Tachidu makes sure starts moving towards FSC's defensive zone, and now it is at a bit of a standstill as both teams seem very, very capable of taking on this fight. A good clear by Tachidu there for Boise State.
Well, Waiton took on 2 individuals from the FSC crew and was able to pretty much beat them. And again, it took Tachidu knocking that thing out to try to get it out. Ozcat going one-on-one versus Cabot is going to turn it away as Ozcat now tries to make a move here. Tachidu is going to get the demolition and the touch there. So that was actually a pretty sweet play there from him. Waiton trying to stop the aerial challenge is going to do so. Ozcat trying to put this in favorable position, but it's just going to be punted right back there by Ponzar 6. And now Tachidu finds a way to get around here. An aerial shot going to be turned away there from Disorder.
He just grabbed 100 boosts at the beginning of that engage and spent it all just in trying to make that one play and ended up missing
but
the ball. He follows it up, though, with a phenomenal shot. Ozcat going to be given that assist. So he may have wasted it, but as soon as he refilled, he got a good position there. Tachidu making the first score for Boise State so far in this series.
Did somebody bring a cowbell? Who brought the cowbell? I missed it. And there it is, Boise State on the board now at this point, and a beautiful play there right as Jolly was trying to decide what exactly Tachi was doing. He said, hey, Jolly, watch this, and buries it down the center. So Boise,
I'll take it.
Boise has evened this up.
If that's what it takes, I'll trash talk each and every one of these players until they start scoring goals.
Well, it looks like a second one could be in the wings for Boise State, as it looks like they are on the aggressive side again, but quickly turned away there from FSC. And a bounce there is weird, and it is over the heads of Boise State, and FSC finds another one relatively quickly.
And Disorder again able to do that one, and look at the turnaround there. He set it up for himself and followed it through. Speed Demon is right.
Nice little pop over the top of Boise State University, and was able to just drill right past.
That's, I believe, forgot to write it down, of course. I believe he made the first goal, or the only goal in last game. That would mean that he has made all 3 goals so far for Florida Southern in this series. That is pretty impressive play because his number of shots on goal, I'm sure, are absolutely absurd as well.
Yeah, his percentage on net has got to be massive. And oh no, Disorder almost puts it in his own net, being the other individual.
As we're talking him up.
It's like one of those situations where he was like, hey, you want to see how good I really am? As it looks like Boise State now has 60 seconds left to put this ball in the back of the net. That's actually a pretty good setup if somebody from BSU could follow this up. But it looks like they're waiting in the wings, waiting for it to slow down just a little bit, and they aren't able to keep control. But Tachi-Do is able to put this back into a favorable position. A shot there from Ozcat is high and above the net, waiting for it to settle. Not going to be found. But Tachi-Do with a shot on net is turned away there by Pranzer 6. Another touch there from Waiton is barely going to miss. Boise State had a chance, but is not able to finish it. 30 seconds left on the clock. Can Boise State follow this momentum? That's a wide open net. It is in. Waiton scores!
Waiting gonna take another one. Boise State saying, hey, your guy might get 3, but we're gonna spread ours across the board and give everybody a chance to play here. Ozcat, that means you're next for the goal here, bud. 2 and 2, 23 seconds on board. That means that if this 23 seconds expires without anybody making a goal, we're going to go into overtime where it is golden goal. First one wins. Boise State does quite well on these head-ons as well. Now under 15 seconds. And it is a very slow ball. Waiting, trying to make a play off of it. Cabot using the last of his boost to avoid that ball from going into his goal. And it does appear as though this one's going straight up and going straight back down. Overtime it is.
Again, goal-to-goal situation. Your first one to score walks away with the round as Boise State spikes that in. The 50-50 goes a little bit in favor of BSU, but it looks like Disorder will be able to clear this out for the side of FSC. Boise State just going to clear this all the way back. Waiting, looking for an aerial play here. Was able to get a touch and stop the ball for a half second, but it looks like Cabot is going to be just fine. A shot there after the one-timer. Disorder looking for yet another one was turned away there by Tachi-Do as Ozcat is going to set himself up. Ozcat waiting, going to set up a play here. Tachi-Do off of the wall. Ozcat is forced to recenter this. A shot here is coming off the crossbar. Boise State can commit to this, and they take a shot, but it's turned away by Panzer 6. A follow-up to Tachi-Do, and he finds it, and Boise State takes the round.
What a play here. A bounce off from Waiton. Tachi-Do finally finding it. Tachi-Do, as the seconds pass, his play is getting cleaner and cleaner. I am very, very impressed by how well Boise State played there. And now we have a game as it is 1 round in favor of each player. We might even see 5 rounds here, and we're only in game 1 out of 4.
Let's take another look here at some of the plays going as Waiton clears out a great stop there. And as we take a look here, Ozcat is going to clear this out, but nope, Kravitz is going to stop. So Tachi clears this over the top, and it looks like right there, Disorder going to clear off the right-hand side. And again, sorry, again, I'm trying to figure out what exactly is the situation here. As we're talking about the rotations here, the way that Boise State is setting up compared to how it was in the first game. And you notice once they get that touch, there's always somebody there. Take a look. Ozcat up off of the wall and rotates Tachi-Do. They've always got somebody there just in case the aggression comes through. And even then, you see Waiton there on the right-hand side looking to set up and essentially relieve Tachi-Do right there.
And we didn't see any of this in the first game, honestly. It seemed like there was a lot of miscommunication potentially going on. A lot of these attempted plays, but it almost seemed like they were doing individual plays or working towards individual plays. And now this round, it's almost as though their mentality has completely changed. And it's, okay, guys, what are we doing? We got to start talking about where we're at and what this rotation is, because they've kind of had a series of moving in tandem. Tachi-Do being credited with that save in 3 attempts. The third one is actually going to hit the ball.
I was going to say, the boost management along as managing the rotations, that's the Achilles heel for Boise State. If they do not have those two worked out, then they do not do well in these games. Of course, scoring a goal right off the bat is not good for Boise State.
Yeah, and luckily that crossbar was there, but it looks like Cabot is going to score right then and there as well. So same to the story as FSC is going to find the first one here in game number 3.
Yeah, I didn't mean to jinx it right
there. It's one of those things, Boise State didn't quite get that rotation down the way that they wanted to. You saw on the left-hand side, somebody was there as the rotation was coming out on the right-hand side. They kind of flipped it that time around and were caught with their pants down. So unfortunately, that means FSC going to get the first one on the board, but Boise State has seen this in 2 other games and have won 50% of them.
It has taken less and less time for Florida Southern to make the first goal each of these games. It's gone down by 10-15 seconds there, so Boise State might not be quick, but they are capable of making some great shots here. Waiting without any boost, manages to miss the center that he was actually waiting for there. It was stolen by Prancer, who makes a shot on goal, turned away by Ozcat. Waiting finally has some boost here. He's going to center this shot. A return from Disorder puts it in the corner and sends it back towards Boise State's side. Ozcat is going to prevent that from happening, and now he is out of boost. So already the communication and placement might be better from Boise State, but the follow-up will not be there.
Yeah, you can't do a whole lot if you don't have the boost. You've got to be having some kind of rocket propulsion here in the Rocket League, and without any of that orange shiny stuff, you're not going anywhere. And it looks like just the side of FSC has done a great job of snaking out all of these big boosts from Boise State University, even on their own side. So Tachidu going to commit here against Cabot, is not going to find anything. A shot there is going to be spiked in. Prancer 6 finds number 2 for Florida Southern University. Or college, I'm sorry.
Fourth goal, if I'm not mistaken, of this series so far for, Prancer, that's his first goal. Disorder is the one we've seen some from. So now every member there of Florida Southern College is on the board with a goal in their hands. Boise State needs 2 to tie this one up, 3 to take the lead.
That's a wide open net. Waiton can drill this in. He's got it!
A great play there, recognized just how much of an advantage he had and really followed that one through, and it took the boost. That's the thing, is you need to make a play like this, but you need to follow it up with the boost. The problem is they're trying to make these plays and set them up with that boost, and then by the time they actually are at a point where maybe they missed the ball or made a mistake or have a chance to turn it, they're completely out. So a good job there for Boise State to put themselves on the board, and halfway to tying this up, Prancer going to clear it.
And it looks like Boise State had an opportunity there. The ball was just a little cattywampus. We're not able to get anything there. Ozcat going to challenge, is going to find Disorder on the wings as well. Oh no, that stop there is very, very dangerous. Panther 6 looking to get an angle, is turned away there from Boise State University. A scary couple of seconds, as they say. A shot on goal, once again turned away by Waiton. Ozcat now going to pick up the big one and rotate himself into the goal position. He pops that out, but another attempt there by Prancer 6 almost found the net, and now Ozcat with a great little clear here on the left-hand side, picking up the big boost. A second touch, but is going to be turned away by Disorder. Tachidu is there in the wings waiting. This is a very interesting spot for Boise State, and it just pops right over the head of the orange and blue. That came off really dangerous. That could have actually rolled all the way in, but thank goodness for that post. Ozcat picks up a large boost. Tachidu on the lower end, and now Boise State is on the attack, looking to strike, and is not able to do so, and now Disorder is going to carry this up, as Waiton there with a nice challenge is going to find it for BSU.
Focusing on the boost and constantly keeping an eye on the ball and having somebody capable of rotating back into a defensive position here. A great move by Boise State, but just too quick of a move from Disorder there, who makes it in with an assist from Cabot. That's going to be his first one for this round, and one for each member there of Florida Southern College.
And there was somebody there from Boise State just not able to get their hood on it. Just a great one-timer there from FSC.
Had boost too, though.
And they had so much time to set that up. Boise State looking a little slower in this round. They still got a couple more to kind of rebound, but FSC looking beautiful. That shot right there had an odd bounce and could have found the net as well, as it looks like Cabot is going to attack that ball, miss it, and Ozcat with the clear into the back right-hand side. Turned directly over there, top of the crossbar. Panther 6 almost finding one. Cabot going to take a second shot and not going to find anything there. And here comes a third, as Boise State has to clear it out.
Disorder would have had that shot, and Prancer actually ended up tipping it up to the crossbar, so he prevented his team from making it 4-1. Boise State should be able to take some sort of advantage of that. Ozcat with a fantastic save. He's going to pop it up in the air and try to follow it through, but Disorder ends up getting there first. A shot on goal just a little too high, so it's not going to go in. A demolition from Prancer there onto Ozcat means they have the upper hand for the next few seconds. It is on Boise State's defensive side. Waiton, though, able to sneak it around Florida Southern and get it over to that blue side just in time for Boise State to be able to get their respawn and hopefully find some boost.
60 seconds is a lot of time in Rocket League. If Boise State can find a quick one, they still have signs of life. However, it just looks amazing. FSC so aggressive, and now it looks like Tachidu has found an open net. He's going to find it!
3 to 2, 46 seconds. It looks like, yeah, Boise State has plenty of time there. It only took 15 after you mentioned. The 60 seconds is a long time in this game. So, you know, by my math, that means that they're going to have 3 more here.
Basically what I'm noticing with this other Boise State lineup here, because this is like, you know, the second team. There's not like an A-B kind of situation, not like one team is better than the other. But with this crew in particular, they love those fast breaks. They love finding an exploitable weakness and then just running it down. Most of these goals have been coming through in such a fashion as Ozcat takes a shot and is turned away by Disorder. And again, Boise State looking a lot better as time goes on. And as each and every second ticks down, they are going to have so much pressure on them. The last 20 seconds, Ozcat finds it! He carries it all the way from the mid! Are you kidding me? Watch this again as Ozcat finds it in the air, says, nah, I got it. A little flutter of the Jets and spikes this over the head of FSC and has found the game-tying goal here in round number 3.
He's getting some training from Ace Pocket there, huh?
That must be it. The 50-50 with 18 seconds on the clock. Still plenty of time. Boise State with a shot almost finds it from beyond half court. Waiting now going to try to carry this in. The final 10 seconds here. Can Boise State bring this upset through, or will Florida Southern College find a goal here? No, we are going into overtime. Again, golden goal situation. The pressure is on. One of these two teams walking away with another round underneath their belt. The other finding themselves at a disadvantage as Waiton going to find an early demolition. A shot by Waiton is turned away there by Pranzer 6. Tachi with a second attempt, not going to find it as Waiton continues to put on pressure from Boise State. Finally, they are going to find an opening here as Ozcat going to turn this around. Boise State still trying to defend. A great attempt there from Florida Southern. Not able to make any kind of commitment there as Boise State continues to put on pressure here. Tachi with a touch is going to bury it down, but Florida is going to pop it right back out. Waiton putting this in a scary position, but Ozcat, the last handful of seconds, is able to get it out there. A demolition on FSU's side, and that is it. Cabot finds it and scores another round for Florida Southern College.
Very quick move there by FSC. It was a really solid recognition in that, hey, one member's down. We have the boost advantage. Let's take it home. That's 2 games, though, in overtime. The advantage now is for Florida State. However, or Florida Southern. However, we have a few more rounds to go as it is a best of 5. So let's take a quick look at a replay here in that game. This is the follow-through from Ozcat to tie that up and send that game into overtime. It seemed like the second half of that game as well, Ozcat realized, hey, I've got the skills to dribble the ball. The ball handling really throws off Florida Southern, and he took advantage of that with some fantastic plays.
So the way he was able to read the redirect from the roof and then just bury this thing down, the way he's able to spike and carry it through over the head of Pranzer was very, very pivotal. Of course, that's what put it into overtime. That's what kept that game going. But it shows the ball handling skills that you were talking about that Boise State really hasn't been flaunting throughout the course of this series. They do have the ability to carry and just stuff it in through one of the sides. So we'll see what the situation is here, but Boise State has to pick up this win or this game is over.
Game point, that is right. Not a best of 7 as we usually see. No, for this NACE tournament, we are going to be doing best of 5s, and don't worry, because after this one, we have 3 more schools or 3 more teams that we will be playing up against for this same tourney.
Yeah, but right now, the Broncos versus the Mocs, with the Broncos having their backs up against the wall.
They have backs? Do cars have backs?
I don't know. We'll find out. But they have had
with their
opportunities.
Up against the wall.
There you go. They've had chances to close out games. They've had opportunities to take the lead and just falling ever so short of that whole situation. So if they can pick up this win, that will push us into a Game 5. If not, we move on to the next school as Boise State going to carry this here in the early stages.
I mean, we just saw 2 goals in less than 60 seconds there from Boise State, so definitely getting more and more confident as these games go on. Cabot with another attempt there, but he's going to shoot it over to the other side of this goal, and Boise State needs to get in a defensive position to block that one. Florida Southern actually hitting that one, sending it back towards their side. Tachi going to follow that one up, and a little bit of leisurely play here as we can see the ball just finding a lot of stalls.
Wow.
Prans are actually being denied by the wall there, by the side of the goal. Ozcat does manage to pick up that full boost, and Tachi is going to follow through here. Good positioning by the Broncos.
Yeah, it was a very scary situation there, and a great one-timer from FSC as Boise State is able to turn that away with the help of the wall. But Boise State on the defensive most of this game has found some kind of aggression here, but it is quickly returned by Disorder as it looks like Cabot takes a shot on goal, is not able to carry this ball, fun, scary situations is going to be just turned out there by a weird bounce. Boise State now on the attack. Waiton could throw this to Ozcat. Ozcat with not enough speed to get up there to the direction he was looking for, but a nice attempt from Boise State nonetheless. Tachidu with the great stop there. Ozcat gonna pick up the big golden boost and clear this all the way back out for the side of Boise State University. Waiton looking for the rebound. Ozcat has a shot. It's turned away there by Pranzer 6. A great one-timer and a great feed from Boise State University. Yet another long clear here from FSC as Boise State is there in the grounds to try to turn this away. No one able to touch that as the aerial challenge makes both individuals peel off in their respective directions, but it looks like Ozcat going to be able to clear this out for Boise State.
I love those kinds of plays where both teams are like, uh-oh, we got to get there either to make the goal or to defend it, and then everybody misses the ball, and it really just depends on, the people that didn't have boost in that engage to be like, oh, I still have a chance.
Right.
I'm still in this one. Waiton now is going to send it over, and Ozcat with a shot on goal just too far to the left. That ball slowly rolling over as Waiton tries to get another hit. Tachidu now the only one there to follow that up as Waiton tries to set it up again. The other two members getting into position. Ozcat keeping this one on Florida Southern's defensive side. Great move and a push back there from Pranzer. Waiton is going to clear this towards the center, but actually line it up for Cabot. Tachidu, however, is in a great position to defend their goal here. Waiton is a little too centered there to actually be able to pick that one up, and a little low on boost as well. He's going to use the rest of his to pick up that corner. Boise State doing a great job now of focusing on that boost. Tachidu trying to drive it home, but ran out of boost as I'm praising them about their conservation of that. So Ozcat now has the opportunity to make a play here. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah, he's going to be stopped right there by Cabot as Tachidu's going to clear this up to him. Cabot with a weird bounce. This could mean a favorable position for Boise State University, but it looks like instead Ozcat just going to peel off, set this off of the right-hand side of the wall, and one of the Boise State members is center looking to make a play here. Waiton is going to get a shot on goal, but it's just at a weird angle, is not able to find the net, but now Ozcat looking for his turn to strike. Instead peels out as Waiton is going to corral this in the air. This is a good situation, but not going to be the best as Boise State is left wanting here. Ozcat with the angle, he's got a net, but it's turned away by Cabot once again as Boise State University looking for yet another goal, but cannot find it here in this game, and they have to get points on the board or this game is over. Pranzer 6 is going to stuff BSU and find the net.
1 minute and 30 seconds, though, left on the clock. That is by far the longest time it has taken for a single goal to go through. Florida Southern keeping with that routine of being the first one in these games to make a goal. Boise State has been very quick to respond, though. It seems like they need a little bit of a kick in the pants, a little bit of heat to actually get going here. We'll see if the Broncos can follow it through with a goal on their own and put this into a third overtime round. If not, it is going to go in favor overall for Florida Southern College.
Yeah, this is do or die for BSU as Ozcat is going to take all of the boost he needs, try to break the ankles of his opponents. Cabot with a shot on goal is not going to find it, but Disorder is there as well and is able to get a touch, but Boise State now has to get some kind of aggressive move going here. Ozcat going to clear this out. 60 seconds remain. As I said, that is enough time to get a point or two on the board as Boise State is going to lose Ozcat. Disorder taking him out of the match for the next couple seconds. Tachidu with a great push. This could mean good news. No, wait, and Tachi collide into each other, and the ball comes to a stop in front of the FSC net, but it's not over yet as Boise State still looking to make a play. Disorder on the far side there was able to get a touch, but not a redirect that is favorable for him and his team as Tachidu has the final 30 seconds. Tachidu to Ozcat. It's above the crossbar. Waiton with a shot is not able to put that in the net now. Boise State only has 20 seconds to find the equalizing goal. Cabot is going to slow the roll here as it goes up and to the right, but instead it looks like Boise State is going to be in just the right position as Ozcat clears that out. It's a demolition. 10 seconds left. This is a 2v3 as Disorder finally responds here. The final 5 seconds. Can Boise State find it? If they can get this thing into the air, it is possible, but it looks like nobody is going to be there in time, and that is game, set, match in favor of Florida Southern College. And Boise State tried everything they could, just unfortunately were not able to get anything in that final game. But the first 3 minutes of that game really showed just how even and strong both of these teams were.
Absolutely. And just because we're good sports here at Boise State, and it appears at Florida Southern College, we're going to do another round just for fun.
Yeah.
Just for funsies.
Just to get a little bit of practice.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of practice there for Boise State. Very, very close teams, though. There were so many amazing shots by Boise State. I I was throwing my hands up in the air back here, and then immediately being disappointed, being at the Boise State Arena here, but very happy for Florida Southern because they had some of the most amazing saves, and in particular, Disorder. He seemed to be making these offensive plays, and we would see some member of Boise State turn the ball, maybe clear it, head it back in their direction, and somehow Disorder was on the other side of the field again.
It's a little teleportation jutsu.
Yeah, and one thing we got to say is even though that match was a loss, we been seeing a lot of improvement just from how that played, not only from the beginning of that specific match, but also from what we've seen in previous weeks where Boise State would go 0-5, 0-4 against the other team. And we have definitely seen improvements with how they've been interacting with each other, getting more clean on those rotations. And they certainly had a lot of good shots on goal there. It just came down to that little bit where Florida Southern was able to just have just that little bit of extra defense that allowed them to pull this one out.
Well, again, this is the Boise State roster with the least amount of on-stage time, if you will.
Yeah.
Again, the Boise State main lineup, if you will, again, that's not really the situation, is a returning Mountain West champions kind of situation. And we didn't see a single one of those players on the board. And this is what we're seeing with 3 individuals who don't have as much time. So you see what I mean? It's just a great sign that if this is where they're starting at, with time and learning and practice, they're going to become insurmountable in some instances. But again, FSC just played an absolutely stellar game. There was nowhere they were not able to score from. There were no shots they weren't able to turn away. And the ones that did go through in that one game that Boise State ended up picking up was just pure chance. It was an odd rotation and led to the goal. So again, just a situation where Boise State looked good, but FSC just that much better.
Yep, both teams making a great showing, and both teams certainly with some good sportsmanship going into a bonus match, which we will get to right after this. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come right back. Well, we are back with the show match that we are going to have between Boise State and Florida Southern. And one of the great things that we're going to see about this match is that we are going to be playing a version that I think, even in the face of a loss like Boise State, this is going to be the perfect match to blow off a little bit of steam for Boise State. And when you see how the ball reacts in this game, I think you'll know what I mean, because we are going into boomer ball.
Yeah, I'm used to this. They've been doing this to us recently. They're like, all right, guys, stay on desk after Overwatch because we're going to make you do 6 Symmetras versus 6 Sombras or something crazy. Boise State, especially, the last couple of weeks, we like to do fun stuff. And this is one of our regular scrim partners here at Boise State for Florida Southern. So that's why we're seeing so much competitiveness between these two teams and such close, just such a close competition between the two of them in those rounds there. We'll see how this goes. I wouldn't say this is something that you'll want to base anything off of when it comes to skill, like Rocket League skill, stats, any of that. I'm not writing any of this stuff down because it's insanity. This is going to be insane because not only are we playing a different style of game, but we're also playing with some changes in physics.
As far as the physics of the cars, the way that the ball is going to react, everything is going to be completely different than what you are used to seeing. And this is one of the things that, again, both of these teams being scrim partners, they love doing stuff like this, so we might as well. Again, just boomer ball, baby.
Yeah, and one some interesting things about the team that have been our scrim partners, we're going to have this friendly match in. It's just sort of we're going to have to get back to that.
All
because
right, then.
As soon as I see that, I know we have to pay attention to this first and foremost.
You look at the ball the wrong way, and it goes across the arena. That's amazing. So here we are.
I don't want to know what happens when you look at it the right way.
Oh, what a shot on goal is turned away there by Kevin as Ozcat has a rifle of a shot right there. A laser, if you will, as Boise State bounces this off the wall. Hey, Wayton's going to find it off of the left-hand inside of the arena, and it bounces right on in.
Maybe we should have done the tournament this way, huh?
I know.
Nah, Florida Southern managed to get the best of Boise State, but also keep in mind that before this matchup, both of these teams were undefeated, so it feels okay to allow another undefeated team to take that title away from us here, and that just means we'll come even harder next time, and a good shot is going to be made through Cabot with the score, Disorder, and then just that BM demolition at the end there, because, you know, that is the boom and boomer
From
ball.
coast to coast, just puts a little bit of bumper on there, is going to find the net, didn't even have to really try as we even this thing out here again. Boise State versus a Florida Southern College. It is a boom ball rendition of Rocket League. This is ridiculous. A shot on goal is going to be going right in, an absolute laser there from
Cabot's
Cabot.
played this game mode before, huh?
I think Cabot is just really, really, really good. The way that the FSC was able to play earlier, they're going to be able to make these shots at an even, like, Wayton couldn't even jump. The response of that ball was so fast, Wayton tried and just didn't have enough time to respond or react. So we'll see how this continues on as FSC up 2 right now.
4 minutes, 23 seconds, so it hasn't even been a minute and we've seen 3 goals. Disorder is going to demo Ozcat right there. Tachi Du trying to get into a defensive position. Cabot with the shot on goal, turned away by the wall. Disorder's going to follow it up, though, with another shot, and it's just high, hits the crossbar there. Tachi Du just picking up boost and then using that boost to go pick up some more boost.
It's boostception, as it looks like Boise State going to try to take a shot on goal. Waiting, not able to find what he was looking for. A giant boot there from Panzer 6 is going to be kindly returned by Boise State as Disorder clears that away from his goal.
Ozcat with a shot on goal there somehow from across the field there. Oh my goodness, so many misses. Disorder is able to actually make contact there. Tachi Du manages to grab that ball before Cabot, but he did get a full boost, so he'll be able to easily get back to his side of the map. 1.5 minutes down in this game. This is going by a lot slower than the majority of the other Rocket League games, I think, just because it's moving faster.
That's one of those things. A shot on goal is turned away there by Waiton. What a long shot by Cabot as Ozcat looks to put some speed on this. Is not able to. Tachi Du finds himself in the corner with the ball as well. It looks like Panzer 6 going to take a shot. That thing gets spiked immediately down, bounces all over the place off of the crossbar. Ozcat had a nice little touch that actually went off the opposing crossbar and then almost rolled all the way back into his own goal. So this is one of those situations where you could just boot this thing and end up scoring on yourself in the opposite direction.
Oh, yeah.
Something to watch out for in its entirety. But again, this ball just all over the place. Ozcat looking to make an aerial play here. Just trying to get some kind of control here, as it looks like Panzer 6 is going to bury that one. 3-1 in favor of FSC.
Still 2 minutes, 42 seconds for Boise State to make something of this. It looks like they're having a little bit of a communication issue, actually. Not that...
Yeah, it's that the ball is all over the place and you don't know where to call it.
It is, but we've seen multiple collisions of these players into each other, and we haven't seen any of that from Florida Southern, even though they're playing the same game.
Well, it's just one of those things where, again, if the communication's a little shaky to begin with, you're going to have that, especially when you just throw the rules out the window. It's really hard to communicate, hey, this guy's got the ball, and, oh, never mind, it's already in the net.
It is a good, and actually one of the reasons, too, why we play these kinds of games is because even though it is a different style of game, even though there are major changes, the concepts, the ideas, the overall methods of success.
No way.
Oh, the overall methods of success of this game are the same. So bringing the communication, the teamwork, the rotations into something like this.
It came off of Tachi Du.
I don't know if I'd use the term rotations, more as an out-of-control merry-go-round at this point.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Florida Southern is using it really, really well, though. That one did come off Tachi Du. I was trying to cover it up. You had to bring it back to him here.
But he needs to know it happens, man. It's one of those things where exactly what I was talking about, where he goes to make a safe play and ends up coming against his own goal. And it's not entirely his fault when the physics are this cattywampus and all over the place. A shot on goal hits the crossbar. Another shot on goal goes straight in as Disorder is going to find that one.
Cabot again with the setup here. It was an attempted shot and it was just a little bit high. He is making some incredible plays, so it's really easy for the rest of his team to just play off of that when he sets them up as well as he is. 1:57 on the clock, 5-1. This is only one round that we are playing.
Right.
So we are not going to be going into a best of at all. That means that they only have 1:50 left to really prove themselves here as Boise State's behind 4 goals.
That's one of the things. Boise State right now is just trying to drive it home, not realizing they have all the space they can work with. If they just took a couple of,
the long shots.
Measurements back, if you will, whatever you would call it. Bounce on the floor, turned away there by Cabot.
They're trying to make the plays off of the rebounds, which is great when the ball's not coming at you at a million miles an hour. Florida Southern is really making all of these big long shot plays.
Yeah, when it doesn't go right back to the center of the field if it bounces off the crossbar.
Being that far in is actually a huge disadvantage because it means that it means that you will not have the chance to make a defensive play disorder with another shot on goal there. Ozcat just trying to get in position. Good focus on the boost there from Ozcat really for the entirety of these as we're coming down onto just a minute left.
As Cabot was able to turn that one away. Boise State's got a long, long climb ahead of them if they look to turn this game around 5-1 in favor of FSC. Again, this is a little bit of boom ball or whatever we're calling this where the physics are super crazy as Boise State has a possible shot on goal. They got it! Waiting, finding one. Ozcat giving the assist in that situation.
5-2, so Boise State put themselves on the board just a little bit more, and this gives them a little bit of an opportunity as well to try to use this momentum forward.
Interesting.
49 seconds left on the clock, though. Not a lot of time, but as we found out before, more than enough time for a couple goals to be put up on the board, and since this game mode seems to be going so much slower just because of the high speed of the game itself, they do have quite a bit of opportunity.
Yeah, it's one of those things, though. I think that the airtime, it's going to just quickly dwindle down. Boise State, again, has some kind of fight in them, but will they be able to? No, unfortunately not able to get that one. And it's all the way back! I told you!
That was a little bit of a slow reaction, though.
Off the crossbar, all the way back.
Oh, no, it was actually, never mind. All right, Ozcat doing really his best there to make it, and he ended up turning just a little bit too early. I'm not sure if he used up the last of his boost on that.
But that's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's how it goes. 25 seconds, though, left. So, more than double that time since before 2 goals ago. Disorder with a fantastic clear over to the other side.
Boise State's just looking for anything right now. They just want
really
this over. There it goes again.
Cabot trying to steal that goal. He did set up. I think that was actually a three-man assist really here. I guess it's just going to show Pranzer and Cabot there. Yeah, Cabot doing his best to steal that one. He wanted it for himself. 7-2, 12 seconds on the board. Boise State's going to really have to try hard.
I don't think this is going to happen.
Impact.
But,
I want to say I've seen crazier things.
I don't think I've seen that crazy, especially with the way this game is set up. So 5 seconds
I've
left.
seen some reverse sweeps that
not like
that
this.
You wouldn't believe.
They've got families, man. Just leave it alone. Let the ball hit the ground.
At that point, he's going towards Florida Southern, so it's not going to make a huge difference. It didn't hit the ground. It came off the side, actually, the corner there. And it's not until it hits the ground that this actually ends. So we'll see how long they can keep it juggled. There we go, as Cabot manages to make it go up. Waiting just barely at missing that juggle.
Oh, there it is. And it looks like Florida Southern College picking up the overall win as they take a 4-1 series over Boise State University.
Now Boise State can't. They just have to kind of walk home with their tails between their legs, except they can't because there are 3 more games.
Yeah, from Florida Southern, we move on to Lebanon Valley. So a lot more Rocket League coming up. Hopefully Boise State can dust off their pants, shake it off their shoulders, and get ready to hopefully take home a win. We'll see if they can do that right after this. So stay tuned. We got more Rocket League coming up.
Boise State Esports is brought to you by Game Pants Arenas and Equipment, Omen by HP, and Archon Clothing, makers of official licensed Boise State Esports apparel.
Welcome back. We are currently in the second match of Boise State's day of Rocket League. We have started with Florida Southern. Unfortunately, Boise State wasn't able to pull out that win. But now we move on to Lebanon Valley College out of Annville, Pennsylvania. So 2 teams on the East Coast that Boise State has to virtually travel across the country to meet. And hopefully with this one, we can see they have improved themselves and can go forward and can pull out a win here in this one. I am joined back with Jolly and Shizu. And as we look at the team for Lebanon Valley College, are we seeing any particular differences from Florida Southern, or are we going to be seeing more of the main core that we've also seen from Boise State of the main players?
As far as what information we have, as of right now, I'm not entirely sure who we're going to be fielding. Again, I don't even have the information for the other players of Lebanon Valley College, but I do know they are the Dutchmen, and that name strikes terror into my heart. So we will see what the situation is as far as the setup is as far as these 2 teams are concerned.
I see. I was told that I have the info. Hey. Actually, Jem had it.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Jem had the info. We are
okay.
going to Lebanon 3rd, though, I actually believe.
Okay.
So Park is going to be...
Plot twist.
Right? Park.
Well, then remember everything we said for the match, and we can just
that later.
We can just say ditto when that match comes
There you
up.
go, exactly.
We're getting ahead of ourselves here.
So this is still part of NACE, the National Association of Collegiate Esports here. Boise State, it looks like we're going to be seeing I don't want to say the regular 3, but the more consistent 3 there. Cosmo Buster, Ace Pocket, and LC Coro. And Park University is fielding Tuna Fish, Tuna Fish Chris, Blood Bud, and Sahoya.
I'm glad you took that because I would have totally butchered that. It's I've never learned to read.
Sahoya.
Sahoya. Either way, very curious to see what's going on here between Park and Boise State. Again, we're going to see the more veteran, seasoned crew of the Boise State University side. You'll see a lot more aerial plays, a lot more bounce passes off of the backboard with this crew that you're going to see here. As far as Park University, have not had a chance to see them play, so unfortunately my knowledge of what they have up their sleeves or in their trunk for that matter is questionable as far as my information is concerned. Mm-hmm. But again, we have seen that, Cosmo, the head of the Boise State crew, really leans on the offensive prowess of Ace Pocket and the defensive overturn of LC Coro. LC will block a ball and then carry it all the way in for the goal kind of thing. And we'll see what happens as far as this match is concerned.
We're going to be jumping in here. And quick fact, the coach and the director of the esports program there at Park University is Ashley Jones. It is a relatively new study, actually, the varsity program. Ace Pocket going to be getting a save there, Tuna Fish Chris, with the shot. Cosmo Buster going to drive that
carry
right around that Park University player. I didn't even see who it was. It was so quick.
Where's it going? Over your head.
Bump around. What a play there, Cosmo Buster. In the first 30 seconds, going to get the first goal here.
That is absolutely disgusting. And you said this is a new crew, so they are about to get taught a thing or two here from the Boise State crew, possibly. As again, we thought the same thing going into the last game, but this is the other Boise State members. So we'll see what they could put up on the board. Is LC going to put this on the right-hand side as it's going to be turned quickly away? Ace Pocket here looking to put a shot on goal. Ace to Cosmo. Cosmo unfortunately turns that away. Wasn't quite ready for that shot quite yet, as it looks like it's going to be carried up here by Blood Bud RL and turned away there by LC Coro. LC continuing to fight here up on the wall as Ace is going to try to put this down the center as Sahoya is going to be caught there in the mid. Boise State going to put on some more pressure as it looks here, but Boise State is able to continue on. LC Coro gets a destruction there, but is not able to continue putting on that pressure. Peels on back to pick up the big old boost, and Sahoya is going to bounce that off the wall. Eventually, I will get that name, I promise.
LC Coro there kind of recognizing, oh no, I'm not in position. Oh no, I don't have time to turn around. Luckily there, LC Coro was in position to make something off of that one. Ace Pocket now is going to expend his boost to pick up this boost on the offensive side. That means Park is not going to be able to return to their own side to grab it. LC Coro with another save there. Ace Pocket sitting in the wings, waiting to either defend or make a solid play, and he has enough boost to do both of those things. Sahoya going to be accredited with a save there, and then trying to make an offensive play. LC Coro, however, is right on it and stops that one from going in.
Koro did a great job of putting it just out of the way of the players of Park, and just by a matter of centimeters at that, came flying by and was not able to find the net, but good move there from both sides of the field as LC Koro is going to clear this out over the head of Bloodbud, who is just going to sit here. A shot on goal is turned away there. Cosmo Buster, right place, right time, is going to turn away Park, and now they are on the attack as Boise State clears this left. It's going to go too far for the individual of BSU, so now LC Koro peeling back to relieve Cosmo Buster of his goalie duties. Never mind, going to jump right back into the fray as Ace Pocket peels back, as well as Cosmo to pick up those larger boosts and set up a little bit more defensively as Ace Pocket is going to challenge, is going to find a play here, and now looking to kind of set this back up for the side of Boise State University. Trying to decide who takes the shot. LC Koro gets the destruction there on Tuna Fish Chris. A shot on goal is not quite where he wanted it, as Cosmo is going to just stall this for the side of Boise State University.
2 minutes, 10 seconds now left on the clock, and Ace Pocket, we didn't even see LC Koro looking the other direction. Ace Pocket, in the meantime, was able to do that one all on his own. So Hoya there trying to play it off the wall, and then Tuna Fish Chris trying to defend, but Ace Pocket moving just too quickly and using the right amount of boost there to get that ball moving very, very quickly over to their side. That's going to put them up 2-0. Now just over 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, 2 people challenge, and only one of them is going to get any kind of reward there as Boise State finds their second of the game. A shot on goal there from Cosmo is turned away, and Park has just been in their goal the entirety of this first game, and Boise State has really just been giving them the what for as LC Koro now looks to set this up for his crew, but it goes right over the top. Good news is LC Koro is able to peel back, get some more boost as the rest of his team, Cosmo Buster, is there to set it back up. Ace Pocket falling back as well as Boise State now on the defensive for what has been one of the few times in this entire round.
And Ace Pocket, I think we saw last week, if I'm not mistaken, he actually was using a different vehicle. He's gone back to the standard here. We do see a lot of swaps, especially from Cosmo Buster, I would say. Every couple of weeks we'll see him try out a new car, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You can tell that they are at that point in the game. They understand it so well that they can take advantage of things like this. What a pass. LC Koro straight over to Cosmo Buster, Park University, not even having an opportunity to react to that one.
Great one-timer, and exactly what I was talking about. Look for more of those high left and high right passes to the center for the one-time shot right down the pipe, and LC put that right on target for for Cosmo Buster, and Cosmo was able to just carry that one in. A little kiss of the bumper as he tries to set it up for Cosmo. A little bit of a friendly push there, is not able to do anything, but it looks like Ace Pocket with a shot on goal is turned away there by Park University. Boise State looking really good in this round with only 50 seconds remaining.
LC Koro is doing such a good job of setting up these passes, and you can tell that that is what he is working on here today. Maybe even Coach Haskell telling him that that's something he needs to focus on, because he's doing such a great job of it, and a good defense there as well by LC Koro, as I talk about, and he's just got to show off here. And not just that, but he is going to set up Cosmo Buster for yet another play.
I feel like the Boise State audience just died on the inside, because none of them are getting excited anytime their team scores anymore, which is a little bit of a weird situation. But hey, Boise State's up 4-0 with 30 seconds left on the clock, and looking good here in this second game against Park.
I think at this point they're like, oh man, they're not even giving him a chance. They're not. Ooh, that was too good. That was too good, you know? At some point, you have to have a little bit of rooting for the underdog, and even if that's just not rooting for your team when they destroy the underdog, that might be acceptable for them here now. 17 seconds on the clock, almost in position there for Park to follow that up on a goal for Boise State, but nobody was there in time. It looks like they are focusing here on the defensive as two members sit there by the goal. Tuna Fish Chris saving that shot there. And Boise State with a demolition right before the game's over. They're going to try to do what they've done. Oh my God, they did it! Last week, they did this on 2 of 3 rounds. Absolutely absurd. And they're going to make it happen again. And this time, it was not LC Koro making the pass. It was Cosmo. LC Koro going to drive it home, though.
That was absolutely disrespectful. Boise State goes 5-0 in game number 1.
Man, that was a good one. But Koro actually putting himself on the board. That means 3 goals went to Cosmo Buster, and Ace and LC Koro each got one for themselves as well. So
Well, and we'll see if that continues to be the case. Boise State, like you said, coming out hot and heavy as far as this other crew is concerned, as Boise State takes the first match over Park here and just looking phenomenal as far as overall, as far as the pass plays, as far as the 50-50s, as far as defensively speaking. Obviously, nothing got by, but they spent most of the time on the offensive end. Any shots on goal were really relatively easy turned away, and that is pretty much the story of that game number 1. Boise State just ran away with it.
It is a best of 5, though, so we have at least 2 more rounds here. We'll see if Park University can drag it out to 4 or 5. Boise State, however, can end it here in the next 2 rounds if they do well again.
Yeah, and like I said, it looks really, really good right now. Very, very polished. A lot of pass plays that are finding their intended receivers, and the shots are really good. The breakaways from Boise State right now are on point. When an individual is breaking from the pack, they either have somebody on like the left or right wing to really help them on that weak side, or they are just left with a wide open net. And Boise State has done a really good job of breaking down the defense of Park. And not only that, we saw that LC Coro basically sat and just ate all of the boost on Park's side. So when they came to defensive time, they didn't even have any boost to get up.
They tried just leaving 2 members there, but that's not going to work either, because if you try to make any sort of offensive play, it's all reliant on one player, and you can't do that when you have boost that's supposed to be distributed throughout. That's the whole idea behind rotations. You know, you can't just have one goalie in the game. It doesn't work that way. Everybody has to find their place and know exactly when to make that reroute, I guess, for the strategies there. So this is good for Park, though, because they still were they were finding ways to hold off. Boise State making 2-3 goals in the first minute and a half there. So they did end up stalling Boise State quite a bit there, but this is a problem too, is Boise State just finds every single weakness of the other team and exploits it completely. So if they have managed to do that here with Park and think that they are really that much better than this team, they will just score goal after goal on them.
Well, within the first handful of seconds there, you saw Boise State trying to drive it in and just try to flick it over. As Bud almost accidentally knocks that into his own goal. Boise State is just absolutely relentless. They are not letting down for even a second. And when they do have to fall back on the defensive side, they're so quick to just turn it around on the offense. See right there, you see LC Coro, yes, Boise State on the defensive side. They're going to set up here, and they're just going to be able to boost this right out, and it going right over to Ace Pocket, and not able to find a shot, but is going to continue on as he puts it up and over Tuna Fish. Chris is not able to find anything there as LC Coro looks to get a shot on goal, but it is cleared out here by Park. A very, very good situation here for these guys, but Boise State turns it around just as quick as they found themselves on the defense. Ace Pocket is setting up here. He's going to flick it over the top of Park, tries to go for another, but is not able to get it going. Cosmo Buster clears this back out for Boise State to be offensive here as Sahoya is not able to get anything on there. LC Coro going to find that, with Cosmo Buster getting the assist. That's going to make it 1-0 here in game number 2 for Boise State.
Park doing a great job, though, of holding off Boise State. 3:43 on the clock. It took them over a minute there to actually score a goal. So Park developing just as quickly as Boise State is able to find weaknesses. Park is able to find strengths in their own defenses here, and now able to make a few offensive plays as we're seeing Boise State sent onto the defensive. We'll see if Park can keep this one on the orange side of the field, and they do a pretty good job of that with a shot on goal by Bloodbud. Ace Pocket with a save. It did jump or bounce off the crossbar, so a phenomenal save.
That was a brave save too, because he put the pressure towards his net, came off of the crossbar. Had he tried anything else, it probably would have ended up going in. So a very brave play there by Ace Pocket is going to save Boise State's lead right here, as LC Coro going to return the favor, as Cosmo Buster was trying to be as aggressive as possible here. A shot on goal is to the left, but it looks like Bloodbud Jr., or I'm sorry, RL is going to be able to
I keep seeing that too, don't worry. When it's at a distance, it looks like it says Junior. It's true there.
Ace and LC get aerial here as Cosmo Buster is able to turn this away from the net, although turns it right back onto the net as he centers it for Park, and Tuna Fish Chris is just going to take that, stuffs it right in his face, and that's exactly what I was talking about.
Tuna Fish Chris saying, "Thank you, Cosmo Buster. That was very kind of you." Lined it right up with him. And you can see what Cosmo Buster was trying to do, but just ended up using his boost to shove it forward instead of shove it up. And that's just what Park University wanted. So looking at this, we got a game, boys, about halftime left on the clock. 1-1 for Park and Boise State, who has one round at the moment. Tuna Fish Chris got to be feeling pretty good. A good clear from Sahoya there. Blood Bud to bounce it over LC Coro and put it back in the center of the field. Ace Pocket, though, is going to force 2 members there of Park to chase after it, and it is now on Boise State's defensive side. Ace Pocket on the hunt for some boost here, and when he turns back around, the ball is exactly where he wants it.
I mean, very much more even game this time around as far as not only the score, but the time on attack for both of these teams. LC Coro looks to turn this one around. Cosmo Buster looking to corral it. And again, that Cosmo Buster quote-unquote pass to the other team was kind of cattywampus from the get-go. It came off of him weird. He's going to take out some aggression on Sahoya right there. And that just led to kind of a disastrous situation, unfortunately. So again, both teams looking very strong here in this second game. Could go either way, but Boise State University has to find some kind of way to continue on, because this is a little bit of a worrying trend. If you go from 5-0 to barely 1-1, things could fall apart very, very quickly here for Boise State University. But here on the defensive end, they're looking just fine. They need to find some more aggressive plays here, as Cosmo Buster is going to do just that, bouncing it off the right-hand side wall, but Sahoya going to be able to clear that for the side of Park.
And Boise State's not really a team known to do incredibly well and then fall off. They are really good about carrying winning momentum. They might get a little bit tilted if they start off poorly. But I think it is really just Park doing a great job of adapting to Boise State's gameplay and recognizing maybe where their defenses need some strengthening, and they've done a really good job of fixing that mid-game, mid-round, mid-match here. So we see Boise State and multiple members of Park there fighting it out. Blood Bud going to demo Ace Pocket on that one.
And it left the goal wide open, so there was an opportunity for Park to make something happen, but 2 members of Boise State were there, so they were able to clear that out. It's a little bit of a scary play there, but Boise State is able to recoup, although they are now back on the defense. LC Coro boots this out of the way, says our turn, but never mind. Tunafish Chris wants a second attempt. 30 seconds remain here, and we just need to find one for either one of these teams to capitalize on this round. LC Coro, crafty right there, bumps it over his own goal off of the crossbar as Ace Pocket looks to put something on there and is going to continue this into the aggressive end as Blood Bud Jr. is going to stop that. A little bit of a stall there. No touch there from Sahoya. That's going to go into the center. LC Coro is found. Ace Pocket with the assist, and that was a disrespectful stuff right there. Watch Ace Pocket here. Just a little boop, followed by LC Coro. Tunafish Chris already aerial, and Sahoya was already committed to the left-hand side, and that is a lead for Boise State.
I was going to say the Broncos excel in the last 30 seconds of every game, especially if they're behind by 1 or they are tied up and they have an opportunity there to actually to make a big play. That's where they come out ahead there. LC Coro and Ace Pocket both making a goal. And I mean, that's just goals spread across the board. And I know we got some information as well on Park University, who honestly has one of my favorite directors across any esports program at all. When it comes to information and helpfulness, she's so willing, it's absolutely absurd. I love doing any event with these guys. We played them a little bit earlier here in the season, not for Rocket League, but this is definitely one of the best programs for varsity esports that we have encountered for sure.
And it's a little another interesting thing if you kind of look at the information on Park University and our team as well. It's interesting about this match. Every single competitor in this match is majoring in computer science.
Fancy that. Weird, huh?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, here's the interesting thing, though. That's not the case with necessarily the other squad we have and who we just played, Florida Southern, because if you look at the majors for the last match, journalism, film and TV, GIM, interactive media, accounting, and music. So it's gone from just this complete menagerie of all these kinds of different majors to just computer science.
Right. These guys are committed.
Yeah, they are.
They probably do tech support for their family every holiday, and they absolutely hate it kind of thing. But as far as on the Rocket League field, they're all looking great.
I forgot, Ashley Jones is the director of Park University. I've started just talking about how great she is. And it just started, actually, I think it was announced last year, July 2018, if I'm not mistaken. It just started up in January of 2019. So a very, very new program, a lot of dedicated players. There are only 7 players on the esports team that they have, and actually for League of Legends they have 7 there, and 3 of them are female, so they take pride in the fact that they've got a lot of girls for a first-year collegiate varsity program as well. That's pretty rare. Boise State, same kind of thing. We pride ourselves in how many female players we have. All of ours are on Overwatch, though. Where's our female lead players at, huh?
I mean, that could have been you. You chose to be a caster.
Yeah, I know. I just want to talk about the games, I just want to shout about people doing right and wrong. Speaking of right and wrong, Sahoya there had almost full boost and did not react to that nearly as quickly as he would have wanted.
Ace Pocket is just not able to get a touch on there, and that's going to be the first one for Park and their first lead in the series. As we get here to the 50-50, Boise State already has 2 rounds. They find one more. That will mean the series for them. Already losing one earlier today to Florida Southern College, but they are out for blood now as they would love to pick up a win here today. Again, this is your Mountain West Regional Champion team. This is a force to be reckoned with, and they are showing their prowess, at least in the first couple of games. But if Park has only been around for less than a year, 10 months at that point, they're looking dang good for what we are seeing again, and having such a small pool of players, and it's unbelievably impressive.
And half of that time is the summer, so it's not even in season or anything like that.
Right.
What a save there from Tuna Fish Chris, doing a fantastic job to keep that one out of the goal. A good shot by Cosmo Buster being turned away there. Ace Pocket trying to make a move, but just a little too slow and ran out of boost a little too soon there. Now moving to a defensive position. Good rotations here by the Broncos. Blood Rocket League manages to score, and that means Park's going to put it up 2-0 on Boise State. We may see more than 3 rounds here if Boise State can't turn this around.
That is like some Army Marine sniper shot stuff right there. Sneaks it in between 2 players of Boise State. Did not have any business finding the net, and it goes right in. So Park looking really good here in this 3rd round. Definitely still has some fight.
You were talking about the disrespect Boise State was showing in the first match. This match is about Park gaining back that respect and saying, no, you will respect us in this match.
Absolutely, and they've done a great job. They've had amazing plays, and now it's their opportunity. Oh my goodness, Ace Pocket says, nah, I got this.
Some really good lineups. We saw LC Coro as well working on setting himself up there because they saw that Cosmo Buster might make a play off the wall. Ace Pocket deciding, all right, I can actually make a play off of Cosmo Buster here, and pushed it back around. So a good job of Boise State members as well, deterring Park from focusing on maybe where a 3rd member might be lining themselves up at. But such a good defense right now from Park. 3 minutes, 8 seconds left on the clock. Park still has the advantage. 1 goal up over Boise State, though. Ace Pocket going to try to bring one in. 3 members of Park on their defensive side, though, means it is not going to be a goal for the Broncos.
This is one of those things that I want to keep an eye out for, and maybe, again, I'm just losing my mind here, but a lot of the times when these teams that have been down in the series take a very early lead, we start to see a lot of bunch ball. The adrenaline is running high. You guys are in the lead. Oh, man, we might actually get this
Everybody
one.
wants to make
Everybody
that play.
wants to make that play, and so we are seeing what I refer to as bunch ball, where 2, maybe even 3 members of the same team are committing to the same play, and that's what we saw on that last goal. LC Coral was there, even if that ball hadn't gone in. There would have been a second attempt, so Park needs to be very careful of that, or their lead will disappear. Boise State has already taken a chunk out of it. So they need to be aware that this team definitely can strike at any moment as Ace Pocket is set up and is turned around, and he stuffed that underneath.
I think
Are you kidding me?
It hit him. He may have actually hit the rebound because it did hit Blood Bud. And then
Underneath?
Oh no, he bounced it.
Filthy.
You're right. I thought he hit the car. I thought the vehicles hit. No, he hit the ball
Somebody
downward.
washed that kid's mouth out with soap. That was disrespectful. You don't talk to another player that way, as you put it right underneath the other player. And Boise State has tied it up right as I was talking about that lead disappearing. It comes to fruition. Boise State now looking to turn this around. Park looking for their first victory tonight, and they had the lead for the first half of the game and then some, so they do have the ability to do so. But a destruction there means Cosmo was almost able to just carry that in, but Tuna Fish Chris throws that out and takes Ace Pocket with it.
I think Boise State definitely trying to take advantage of what you were just talking about a little bit ago, of the adrenaline going, of the fact that this is the last match. There's a minute 40 left, and they had the advantage and now have given it up here for Park University. So they still have more than a good opportunity to take the lead on this one and send it to another round. But Boise State is going to keep the aggression going here. LC Coro trying to send it back over to Park's side, but such good aggression here while Park is on offense.
Yeah, and again, Boise State just making sure that they can get some kind of play here. They don't want any weird goals to go in. They don't want to find themselves having to play even more time. If they can close this out now with this momentum, they will be okay with that because, again, they have a long night ahead of them. The less they play, the better off they're going to be feeling, and they can close this out. They've got 60 seconds to do so. But, again, Park can put some fight on a shot on goal. Blood RL finds it all the way from the other side of the arena. What a shot!
That is going to break the tie. Boise State, though, how many times do I have to say the last 30 to 60 seconds is where they shine. Such a good shot. And not just a good shot, Bloodbud this entire round has, I don't know where this kid came from. He has been just decimating when it comes to offense, defense. It doesn't matter. He is finding every gap that might be, every chink in that armor that might be there and taking advantage of it.
Well, and on top of that, like, is he like some kind of Hawkeye Avenger? Because that shot was dead on from all the way on the other side of the field, and not a single individual from Boise State was there to field it. And another shot! Bloodbud RL finds a second! As we praise him, he gives us another reason to do so. Blood RL is just coming out on fire this last 60 seconds of this game, and it looks like Park might run away with this.
Yeah, Boise State now, I mean, they're experiencing the same thing they were just trying to do to Park University. They've gotten a little ahead of themselves. They thought they had such a major advantage, and now they're missing out on some of these major defensive plays, as we saw two members there, Elsie Coro in particular, being too far in the goal to be able to come off of that. Bloodbud trying to make a play there. Sahoya also trying to play off that rebound, but wasn't able to, as Cosmo Buster now attempts to drive this one home. 10 seconds on the clock.
And Boise State could very well put this back in, but instead they're going to shoot it off to the left-hand side. Cosmo Buster looking to make a play here, is not going to the final seconds. Can he? No, that's it. Park Esports picks up their first round, and Boise State is left stunned. They had an opportunity to turn it. They had an opportunity to take the lead, and suddenly Bloodbud RL just came out of the gates. I don't know what kind of like Piccolo training weights he was wearing, but he took them off there in the last 60 seconds and just absolutely eviscerated the Boise State defense and was making shots that he had no business making, as well as stuffs and defensive plays that were right up his alley.
Oh, yeah, and that means we get more Rocket League.
Which is always
this is one of those things, if I'm not mistaken, both of these teams, so the first team that you guys saw composed of Wayton, Ozcat, and Tachidu, they will be playing another one of these four, so it's actually two apiece. So I'm not sure if we're going to break that up by going over to Drury, who that secondary team, you know, in air quotes, is going to be playing. We're going to take a quick look at a replay here. Ace Pocket with a goal. We can see 100% boost, and it's going to be this guy. The bounce underneath. What a quick play there. He saw exactly what was going on from Bloodbud there. Now Elsie Coro setting this one up.
This is the same play, just a little bit of a different angle. Now watch this again. Puts the direction down, and Bloodbud did actually touch it, but it was so far underneath him, it shot him up, the ball down, and came straight through. Had he not had that boost, had Ace Pocket not had the momentum that he had, that's a completely different play.
Oh, yeah.
That ball stops where it's at. It might still run in. It might still have the momentum to carry in, but just absolutely filthy play there from the Boise State players. And it looks like we are now in game number 4. Boise State, again, can close out this series with a win. Park looking to stabilize and tie this thing. Again, the first to 3 in this best of 5. That's what that means as far as the dictionary term is concerned. As Boise State is on the attack, not so unlikely, as that is how they've spent most of the game. Ace Pocket going 1v3 and trying to get some fancy feet. Elsie Coro will now have his chance, as he's going to peel back now and guarantee the big boost for his team. Coming up here on the left-hand side of the wall, this is where Boise State likes to set up off the wall, looking for the center. Not going to find it, as Elsie Coro is going to get a demolition there. Ace Pocket carrying this up. This is that crossbar play that we have seen turned away there by Park.
4:15 on the clock. A bit of a safer game with the start of this one for Boise State, because they do know if Park takes this home, it will be a game-winning match for whoever takes it home if they get to a 5th round here. But this is the chance for Boise State to end this, to close this out. Cosmo Buster really focusing on keeping up on that boost and constantly keeping his eye on the ball, and also in a position to where he can adjust himself. That's why he sits so far back like this, and that's kind of the difference between some of these players and the players that we saw earlier today on the other team, is the patience that these guys have. Elsie Coro, a demolition onto Sahoya. They're trying to line this one up for Ace Pocket, who's just not quite far back enough or high enough in the air to carry it through. Elsie Coro with a high play. Cosmo Buster does shoot it down.
Oh, what a
Sahoya barely getting that one. He was in the goal, and the ball just barely did not pass that wall there. 3 minutes, 18 seconds now on the clock, and what plays from Park.
What awareness of the net. I cannot believe that one did not count. Sahoya absolutely saves this game in the first couple of minutes. Boise State is just still unrelenting. Even taking out one of the players from Park, they were not able to find the net. Even with a shot like that, they were not rewarded. And Boise State now finding themselves on the defense. This is a three-man rotation here from Park. They need to find the goal, or this is going to be Boise State coming right back at them faster and harder than ever as Boise State wants to close this game out. Server health blinking at us at this point as LC Coro and Cosmo Buster trying to set something up here. Watch LC with the shot. It's on goal, but it looks like a Bud is going to be able to turn that away. And Park fully committed to two people in the defensive area now as Boise State continues to attack their other side.
Blood Bud just on fire since the beginning of that last round where he seemed to really find his footing there. LC Coro trying to grab that one. He's out of boost now. Sahoya, he's just trying to do some bullying here, honestly, in the goal box there, but he needs to grab some boost, has to go all the way to his back corner to pick that one up. And Park has just figured things out, it seems. It's as though their staccato has turned legato.
But look at Boise State just eating up all of the potential boosts here. They found all of the hundreds, but unfortunately are not able to use that to their advantage. And they are going to get two demolitions, so maybe that's the advantage they were looking for. It stops the attack from Park here as Cosmo Buster goes to carry this up. But a great turnaround there from, looks like, it was
Chris. That was Fish.
Tuna Chris, as he's going to make the play there. Shot on goal is turned away by Chris once again, and now Cosmo will have to go back and field this for his team.
And he clearly had strong resolve right there because it was 3v1 for Tuna Fish Chris, and he managed to send off the three members of Boise State until his two were able to respawn after a couple seconds. A bit high there from Sahoya. Tuna Fish Chris trying to follow it up. Cosmo Buster
off the
now.
Bumper?
Wow, off the bumper, and ends up sending it back like no problem. I wouldn't even risk something like that. He has 100 boost. He's waiting for that lineup from Ace Pocket or LC Coro, but the defense is just too strong from Park right now. Cosmo Buster there did not even get his shot on goal. LC Coro, though, is going to get one. It is very wide.
We are scoreless with 60 seconds left here in this game. If Boise State can find it, they will walk away the victors of this set. If Park can find it, they will walk away with their second win, pushing this to a game 5. 45 seconds remain. Cosmo Buster goes to challenge, is not able to find it. Tuna Fish Chris, with a couple of touches, is not going to find the net either as Cosmo turns this around for Boise State University. The slow play. He's going to carry it. He's going to flick it right over the top of everybody, but it looks like it was turned around there by Park, and they've got multiple individuals there. Tuna Fish Chris not able to boot that one in, and now Boise State is on the breakaway. They have Cosmo on the right-hand side. He's going to serve this one up to LC, but no, he's going to shove it in himself, and Cosmo Buster may have just won the game.
Let's take a look at that, because it looked like it may have bounced there off of one of the members. No, he just carries it through off the wall, nails it perfectly. Cosmo Buster with a classic Cosmo Buster play of how did he do that. 18 seconds is all Boise State needs to prevent Park from making a goal here. If they're able to do that, it will be game, set, and match for Boise State here. Park, though, has one round for themselves and can tie this up if they can make a single shot. LC Coro missing the defensive play there. Sahoya gonna try to carry it home, and there we go. All LC Coro had to do was make it hit the ground at that point. Boise State going to be winning. This is game 2 out of 4. This team's first round, though, so successful round for this one, and we'll continue on with the NACE championship to face 2 other schools.
Yep, and the audience really getting into it there, Adam.
Absolutely.
It required a close game. So speaking of close, we are 1 for 1 for tonight. So we'll be able to end this night on a positive note, hopefully so, because we are going to be right back with another match against another university right after this.